Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this Thursday, the 4th, August 2022. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. Now, this universe operates on cause and effect. Okay? Right this morning, we got the people of Taiwan over there. They were having missiles fly over them. And if you hear the cracking of, they all know, the people in Taiwan, that China is their neighbor, and they know that it's a great danger that China could actually attack them. They already know that. So you got missiles flying over the country. I guarantee you an awful lot of people are going to hear them as they roar across the sky, and they're able to see the smoke trail across the sky, and they don't know if that's going to come down on them or not. After that happens, people are left with a gut full of fear that can cause them things like they can have an upset stomach from that, or there's a lot of problems that can come when you get really frightened, and it's very disconcerting for a lot of people, even if nothing else happens. So what we're looking at is this was an effect for the people in Taiwan. It was very disturbing, probably, because there's like 27 Chinese airplanes flew in Taiwanese territory, along with missiles cracking across the sky. Okay, this was the effect. So what was the cause? The cause was that Pelosi was deciding that she could go anywhere she wants to go. And she's proved that she can go anywhere she wants to go, pretty much. Now, I'm not talking about her flying inside Russia or flying inside China, no. But I'm talking about anywhere in what we call the free world. So, that was the cause. I just, to myself, as she landed and she was out of there just a few hours, I think. Just not a few hours, but a little while. She wasn't there very long, let's put it that way. I remember she landed and I heard, oh, she's landed. And then I heard, oh, she's gone. To me, too, what about jet fuel? And let's talk about the Earth's resources for a minute. How the impact that jet fuel has, burning jet fuel coming out of a jet engine on the environment. Let's talk about environmental impact for a minute, and that's going right into into that air up above our heads, which floats around like in these different layers of the Earth's atmosphere, stratosphere and ionosphere and so on. Well, I don't think the ionosphere, but it floats around these layers and it stays up there. This exhaust, these carbon emissions. And I'm going to tell you what, if you guys have been anywhere near a jet airplane when it's starting up or whatever, you'll know just how much carbon emissions some things put out in a very short period of time. You got at least 2 big jet engines spewing. It would just seem to me to be logical to make your trip very worthwhile. In other words, stay and get your business done if you're really going to, what I mean, not just jet set around. So I heard about another one. There's another one over here in America, and they got a little jet, not near as big. It's not like these big jumbo jets that they fly across the ocean in, like Pelosi was on, which generally have 4 engines, a lot of them. They're huge. They're what they call an Airbus. Big jets. But no, this is a small jet, more like a private jet here in America. And the average length of their flight, who was it? I can't think of who it was. Was it Taylor Swift? One of these people that has an airplane. And the average length of their flight was only like 140 miles. So, 140 miles. Take a car, for crying out loud. Save the environment. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get in there and let's take a look at the markets. Let's open up the charts right here. what we're looking at here is a silver price today. It's basically $20, $20 and a penny. Okay. Um, Everything's controlled. These markets are all controlled. That's a very convenient price to keep silver in around $20. So silver's down 4 cents on the day so far. Let's take a look at gold. Gold, 1775, and looks to me like it's popped $10. But really, I don't see it's moved out of a certain range. Its range there is about, looks to me about 1772, 73, you know. Well, they could make gold very, straight close to there and make it 1776 to celebrate the country. Well, actually, it is. The ask price is 1776. Very important year. Anyway, moving on, let's take a look at cryptocurrency today. Cryptocurrency is 1064. Thank you very much. Let me get rid of that pop-up. And that's in billions, so that's over $1 trillion. Bitcoin price is 22,919, so almost $23,000 today. We're going to take a look now at the Dow Jones Industrial Average at 32,748. It's down 22 points on the day. And now we're going to get in there. We're going to take a look at crude oil. $90.43. It's down. It was as high as I remember it was $116, $118 about that long ago. When it was peaking. So now we're down to $90.43, which is quite a little drop. And if it continues to drop, we're going to see. Listen, I seen something that durable goods, they're having trouble moving them. And the warehouses and stuff are full. The stores are full of all these goods. Goods like, when I talk about durable goods, I'm talking about things like, I don't know, maybe a camp stove or something, or maybe something that you might want to buy that's not food. The food prices are continuing to go up. People have to buy food. But the consumer, from what I understand, in July, they just completely dropped buying all the things that they would normally buy, consumer products and things, durable goods. They just stopped buying them things that they don't have to buy. In other words, they've hauled their horns in big time. It's like they realize a recession's ongoing. They realize money is tight, and a lot of them have run out of money. They've just run out of money suddenly because it takes that amount of time since when the money supply was cut off to them. No more stimmy checks, no more this, no more that from the government. And they've reached a point where now they've already borrowed money from their friends to try to keep going, and now they're just like, I only got money for food, nothing else. And that's where we're at right now. And so they're holding back, and they're not going to purchase things like, maybe they want to go camping this summer and they need a new tent. Their old one's got holes in it. Well, they'll repair the holes in their tent, and so on. That's where we're at right now. Move index today, 122.04. Let's take a look at bonds and rates. And what we're seeing with bonds and rates is them falling yields are back. U.S. 10-year, is back up to 2.7. It's like they're playing a game with us, They let they got total control over everything. Well, they got an unlimited print and press, and they control the bond markets. They control all the markets, in fact, are now controlled completely. And with that kind of control, they can put it right where they want it, And they can bring the system down anytime they want to bring it down, or they can prop it back up anytime they want to prop it back up, And so I think they targeted 30,000 on the Dow, because the Dow is the big one, the big market there, and it's a very convenient number. And when we saw it drop below 30,000, boom, that triggered it, and now they've propped it back up again. Uh, so what are we seeing here with bonds? Is the same sort of control. You know, U.S. 10-year. They're gonna keep this everything under check. Let's take a look at the dollar index today. 106.38 today on the dollar index. So, including the dollar, they're keeping it under control. But you know one thing they can't control? Inflation. It's out of control. It's going to get more out of control. Because this control that they extend is done all with money. Or not money, credit. So, credit-based control. As they extend the credit further and further, the dollar is going to lose more and more strength. And this is a process that's already been ongoing for many, 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 longer than any of us have been alive. And it's not going to stop. And it's getting worse and worse. It's cumulative. And ultimately, where does it lead in the end? It leads to a dollar that's totally worthless. But that takes a long time. It's a process. So right now, we're at the point where we're losing, I heard the numbers, 17% per year. That's the real number. I've had a number put on it. You know, we're losing 17% of our purchasing power every year. Money in the bank. Can you afford to lose 17% of your purchasing power? And so you say to yourself, hey, you know, buy silver. Well, I'm going to tell you, you pay that premium. That 17%, see, that's the thing is that why a lot of people don't buy silver is they say, okay, if I buy silver and I pay the premium, then when I go to sell the silver, you know, I lose money. Well, yeah, if you only keep it a short period of time. But if you're probably keeping it more than a year, then what's going to happen is that 17%, the silver is going to keep up with inflation, you're going to find. I know it hasn't been so much. It hasn't been doing its job so good because they've been manipulating it. But ultimately, on the long term, if you take a look at the long-term chart, it keeps up with inflation. See, in the long term. And it's going to bounce back to keep up with inflation. So we're getting ready for a big bounce in the price of gold and silver so that they can keep up with inflation again. Because it always has. And it'll continue to. And so that's a great place to try to hedge against inflation is gold and silver. But you got to have the real physical. Listen, guys. Thank you for listening to my show. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the very next episode. Bye-bye.